Hello everyone. Today we would like to present you about our Lean Enterprise System Micro project. But first, let me introduce my group. The first one is Jeremy Christian. Second one is Vincentus Irvin. The third one is Adolfa Dragon. The fourth one is me, Pancha Bayu. And the fifth one is Vincentius Marco. Before we start the presentation, let me to introduce you about our agenda in this presentation. The first one is review journal 1 that talk about an integrated lean, green and Six Sigma strategies. The second one is talk about state-of-art perspective of lean and sustainable manufacturing. The third one is review journal 3 that talk about the 5S approach to improve a working environment can reduce waiting time. And the last one is talking about similarities, differences, and relationship of the three journals. Journal 1 Unintegrated Lean, Green and Six Sigma Strategies. Methodology. From the literature review, we can see which will point out of the better understanding of capability and impact of this activity initiative through the conceptual framework on performance of the manufacturing organization. This is the graphic of our methodology.
The objective of the first journal is to present a systematic literature review and its analysis concerns a possible framework, compatibility, driver, and barriers for integrating three manufacturing strategies, Lean, Green, and Six Sigma. And the author of this journal is Crawford and Sunakar, who published this journal in 2020. This is the site for this journal, and the target of this journal is Indian manufacturing industry. The result from this journal is Lean, Green, and Six Sigma strategy can help the organization to find out the environmental and social impacts that encourage the sustainability strategy for their product in the production system. To compete in a global market, it became easy for manufacturing sector to enhance business performance with change in environmental situation. To adapt LGSS strategy to overcome some of the existing challenges such as increased regulation, investment decision, fulfilling the needs of the customer and emerging market. The last one is practitioner can try to integrate LGSS using theoretical element as a roadmap and improve the model. The recent work represents the journey of progress where the meaning was somehow lost. The form literacy a mean and ensure the harmonizing act between interest and sustainability.
And the next journal is the 5S approach to improve a working environment and reduce waiting time. And this is the objective from this journal. Assess the causal relationship between implementation of 5S approach and reduce waiting time. The first methodology is randomized block design. Randomized block design is an experimental design where the experimental units are in groups called blocks. The treatments are randomly allocated to the experimental unit inside each block. And in this journal, randomized block design is used to select the hospital to be researched. And then in this journal, a block is divided based on region. And each block divided into two treatment groups and control groups. And this is the result from randomized block design. Like the previous explanation, block is divided by region. As you can see, the region is Manyara and Kilimanjaro. And then the block Manyara and Kilimanjaro is divided into two groups, control group and treatment group. In Manyara, which include the treatment group is hospital F, G, and H. And then in Manyara, which include the control group is hospital N, O, and B. And then in Kilimanjaro, which include the treatment group is hospital A, B, C, D, and E. In Kilimanjaro, which include the control group is hospital E, J, K, L, and M. So the purpose of dividing into two groups is that there are differences in the activity carried out. As you can see, there are different activity between treatment group and control group. In treatment group, the first intervention, TOT or trainer of trainers, on the 5S approach was conducted in July 2011 to 8 hospitals in treatment group. 6 months after TOT, consultation visits were conducted to monitor and evaluate the progress of the 5S implementation. 3 months after consultation visit, all the hospitals in treatment invited to progress report meeting to present their self-evaluation result of 5S activities. 3 months after progress report meeting, the second consultation visit was conducted, and then online survey. And next is determine the number of sample size. Because no similar studies were found based on the author knowledge, author used CRCT sampling study with power 0.8, significance 0.05, effect size 0.4, correlation coefficient 0.05, number of cluster 15. And then this is the result of number of sample size. So the result, the number of sample size is 65 observation per cluster per need for this research. But for ensure accuracy, it was agreed to collect 75 observation per cluster. So the number of sample size used is 75 observation per cluster. And the next is select the area for measuring waiting time. Before did intervention activity, the initial step is to determine the location for conducting the research. And this is the result from location area chosen by each hospital. Hospital A, B, C, D, and G select the medical area. Hospital A and A select the consultation area. Hospital B, C, D, E, and G select pharmacy. Hospital A, B, C, and D select laboratory. And this is the result. In this table, as you can see, the location area chosen by each hospital. And in this table, as you can see, there is the implementation of 5S for each area chosen by the hospital. And then this is the step of activities data collection. Step 1, data was collected at 4 areas, namely registry, waiting area of the consultation room, laboratory reception, and pharmacy dispensing. Step 2 is to surveyor were allocated per hospital to each section to observe and directly measure time spent by patient before receiving service. And step 3, surveyor prepared 50 pieces of paper and wrote participant on 25 pieces of paper and not participant on the other piece of paper. And step 4 is patient who came to the hospital and picked the participant paper will request to participate in survey. And step 5 is surveyor measure time spent waiting for service. And this is the author, site, and organization for this journal. And this is the result from this research using DID analysis. As you can see, there is a reduction waiting time after use implementation 5S approach. For example, in medical record, the waiting time reduction was minus 15.66 minutes in pilot hospital and minus 1.76 minutes in non-pilot hospital. And this is the result graphic from this research now. And the conclusion, implementation of 5S which has an effect on reduction waiting time.
Okay, now we move to the third journal, which discuss about the state-of-art perspective of clean and sustainable manufacturing. The methodology of this journal by literature review from all 80 research papers on lean and sustainable manufacturing from various perspectives and their contributions are being presented. The perspectives include origin, definition, decision-making, performance measurement, product development, and application for both lean and sustainable manufacturing. As we can see on the screen, there are 2 steps. The first is review planning. The unit of analysis is research articles that are frequently cited in the literature on lean and sustainable manufacturing was the main constituent. Inclusion factor articles were collected from peer-reviewed journals and books. Exclusion factor articles and information from unpublished working papers, dissertation thesis, and conference proceedings were excluded. Research limitation was limited to research articles on lean and sustainable manufacturing pertaining only to manufacturing sectors by the time frames around 1950 until 2017. Now, review execution is the search tools used and perspective. Search tools from the Science Direct, Elsevier, Taylor, and Francis database, Emerald Insights, Scopus, and etc. By the perspective is origin, definition, principles, tools, techniques, decision making, conceptual models, performance measurement, product development, and application. The objective of this journal is to present and state of art review on lean and sustainable manufacturing. This journal is authored by Ben Rubin et al. 2019, and the site, like shown on the screen, an organization from the Indian manufacturing industry. Result of this journal is to implicate the study to help organizations that are in the initial stages of implementing lean and sustainable manufacturing concept by providing necessary knowledge and ensure them a hurdle-free implementation journey. The limitation of the studies that through several insights from integrated lean sustainable manufacturing are being identified. A comprehensive framework encompassing these insights needs to be developed and tested with reference to industrial setting as a future work. The insights gained based on the perspective are not conclusive as the research expands and diverges, and more critical outcomes are expected to occur that lead to very future research directions.
Okay, hello, my name is Vincentius Edwin Edrika, and I will explain about the similarities. First, discuss lean, which aims to eliminate the waste that occurs. In the first and the second journals, discuss review from other journals and authors' response regarding the application of lean, which can increase value by eliminating existing waste in the company. They use existing journal as the basis for the research. In the first journal, they use this journal to help them integrate lean, Green and Six Sigma or LGSS strategy by first explaining the relation between the three strategies. Then they explain what the three strategies are. Can it be integrated or not? And then the same thing also happened in the third journal, where the author used existing journals about lean and sustainable manufacturing by explaining the advantages and disadvantages of the method that had been used and providing a scope of their integration. And the second is using the same method. For the second, similarity is the research method used from the first and third journal. In the both journal using the literature review method, where the authors will collect existing journals and then analyze the journals. Furthermore, after they have analyzed and conduct a review, the authors will link this journal with their research objective. For the first journal, which is about the integration of lean, Green, and Six Sigma, while for the second journal is lean and sustainable manufacturing. Next, we will discuss about the differences. The method used to implement lean are different. The method strategy used from the three journals is different. In the first journal, using the integration of lean, Green, and Six Sigma strategy. Meanwhile, for the second journal, 5S is used, and for the third journal, using all existing lean strategy. Second, the object being observed of research is different. In the first journal, they examine the implementation of LGSS in manufacturing, while for the second journal, they use a service company on hospital as the object under study, and in the third journal, it was the same as the first journal, which examined the application of lean sustainable manufacturing in manufacturing companies. Last, we will talk about the relationship. The relationship between the three journals lies in a final journal achieved, namely the elimination of existing waste to improve the object under study. Besides that, the third journal can also be used as the first journal that both discusses how to use lean strategy to eliminate waste in manufacturing companies. But in the first journal, the research was carried out with a wider area, namely the merger or integration of three methods, namely Lean, Green, and Six Sigma, while the third journal only discussed Lean. In addition, the second and third journal also relate. The second journal can serve as objective accounting of the successful application of Lean to eliminate waste time in hospitals, which are service companies. In addition, the three journals also mention that their research was successful in implementing the integration or application of Lean to reduce waste so that they were able to develop the company. Thank you.